All right. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks so much for joining me today for this enlightenment broadcast here on Facebook and also on YouTube. Guys, my name is Jay Moore and I am your healthy accountant. Accounting, helping you to account for your life, not just money or not just the books inside of your business, but we're helping you to account for your full life. So, guys, today the Enlightenment broadcast. The title is "The New Birth." The New Birth, and here's what's been going on. And you know, I've been going through a birthing process of myself. Have you ever wondered, or ever, you know, a year starts and you've got goals, you've resolved to have some things happen, and you want to make changes. That's called a birth. You're trying to change something about yourself to achieve something else. And so, as we're at the beginning of 2019, it's the 11th of January. If you're watching this on the 11th of January, great. If you're not, that is when this was done, the 11th of January, 2019. And so this morning, as all mornings, over the past, really, I've been running for the past 2 months. I started running November of 18, got back to it, something that, I find that I get a lot of mental clarity when I do it. And then in December, I decided I would run every day. December 1st is when I decided to do it. And so, I'm really not doing it. I'm not doing it only to have the physical or the health effects, because the effects of what the running is doing is something far greater. It's something far greater than the actual running and, what it's doing for me physically. But the effects of it, shows up on a day like today where it's 27 degrees. I'm waking up a little bit late. I'm normally up at 5 or before, and for some reason I went to bed a little bit late last night. And typically, if I go to bed later than I'm supposed to go, I may not necessarily get enough sleep, and so I wake up on my body clock. I don't use a clock. I don't use I don't use an alarm or anything. So if I want to wake up at 3 or if I want to wake up at 4, I typically just program, my mind and say, hey, look, I'm waking up at 3 o'clock or I'm waking up at 4 or 5. And so I think I went to sleep not really thinking about the time that I would wake. And I didn't wake up. I woke up at 3 o'clock. I did wake up at 3. I looked at the time and said, okay, I got 2 hours. And I didn't wake up again until 5. I think it was about 5:40. I think it was about 5:40. I was like, man, it's 5:40. Now my son, my 15-year-old has been running with me this week. And I said, well, I wonder if he's up. No lights was on. I said, well, he's not up. So I went and got myself together. And then I went to his room. By the time I get to his room, it's like 5:54. He wasn't up. Now his light was on, but he went to sleep with a night light on. So I'm thinking he might have been up. He wasn't up. He was still asleep. 5:54. Tell him to get up, but I'm like, well, this is the time that he would normally be getting ready for school. And so I said, all right, don't worry about going running. I was just like, but just get up and start getting ready for school. So I go downstairs. I'm kind of dragging. I'm dragging because, hey, look, man, hitting the cold, making this run, like the first thing you do, it's just like literally every, for this past week has been a cold week and I've been getting slapped in the face. And it's like, you don't want to go out there. So I put my shoes on and, I'm just like, oh yeah, I got to get out here. I got to get out here. And so when I finally got outside, I knew it was going to be cold. But what was interesting, it wasn't as cold as I expected it to be. I run with a pair of, like, I got leggings. I got some, some of the compression pants or leggings, whatever you call them. They're not really thick or anything. Some shorts. And, I got a t-shirt underneath. I have a t-shirt on, a long sleeve t-shirt on with this sweatshirt, because I didn't even get a chance to change this morning. So here it is. I got this on. I go outside. It's 27 degrees. It's cold. I said, man, it's not as cold as I thought it would be. Now, yesterday it was 29 degrees, but the wind was blowing heavy. So it was probably more like 18, 20. So yesterday I think was colder. But I said, man, it's not as cold as I expected it to be, which was kind of weird. But I'm saying to myself, wow, so let me get out here and start running. And, body, I didn't get a chance, I didn't do a lot of stretching. And, it's because I didn't have much time. I just want to get out here. So luckily, the way I look at it, in the cold, 47-year-old body, been through a whole lot to this point, the cold is actually decent, because it's like putting ice on your knees, putting ice on your legs. And so it didn't bother me. And I said to myself, I said, man, is that the callus that's building on my mind that's helping me to get through this pain of the fact that I'm going to be running, the fact that as soon as it's just like a slap in the face when you go outside in this cold, and you were just sleeping 20 minutes ago, or bam, oh my goodness, I was like, whew. But I was like, man, it's not so bad. Now, I'm not out there competing, so I don't like, I'm just running against myself at this point. Like, it's me, can I beat me? Can I fight the pain? Because, I'm gonna tell you, running in my development is not flat. My development is like, it's a hill from the time you come in. If you come into my development, you come up a steep hill to get in. Now, I haven't been running up and down that hill in the mornings. Now, I had been running up and down the hill, but I haven't been running it. But yeah, I don't have to get a hill, because there's hills and change in elevation every time I go 10, 20, feet, meters, whatever. There's a down, there's an up. And so it's like your legs are constantly adjusting to the elevation. And it's just like, man, this morning, as I finished, and I was writing my post on Instagram, and I was just saying, I said, man, look at what this is doing to me. A lot of times things happen in your life, and, like, oh, this is happening to me. No, I'm doing this to me. I'm making this happen to me. This isn't one of those things where I'm just like, oh no, I can't believe that happened to me. No, I'm doing it. I'm creating a new me. Now, here's the thing about being created anew. We talked earlier this week about the moment when it all changes. You can create a new you every time you wake up in the morning. You can create a new you. You can say, you know what, yesterday, that version, not too sure about it. Let me adjust it today. See, as a human being, we have the unique ability. It's so unique that we can change. We don't go on instinct. Like all other creatures, all other animals, they only live on instinct. They don't have the opportunity to change how they think. Like, I was watching birds outside my house this week, because they've been just kind of flying all over the place. And birds, they have to do what's in their instinct. Lions, tigers, bears, deer, all these animals have to do what's instinct. They can't decide to, what, this year the bird can't decide, instead of going south, we're just going to hang out here. We're not going to go south. Let's go northeast. No, no one's coming up to, that deer and saying, hey, look, I think we should go hang over here. No, they're just going with instinct. The lion is going to go and hunt. The lion's going to go and hunt every single day. It's not like some lions are saying, hey, look, man, let's not hunt today. Let's go hang out. No, every day I'm hunting. That's what lions do. So if they have to work on instinct, but we have the unique ability to change, to making a choice. I said, man, that's powerful. The fact that you can choose every day to do something, different. If you didn't like how yesterday went, you can change what happened. If you're going in today, like today you're working, you're doing things, you could just change right then and there in an instant. It brings me to a text in John chapter 3, and on verse 4, say through number 7, 4 through 7. And so a man named Nicodemus, he asked Jesus, he says, but how can a man enter into his mother's womb a second time and be born again? Because Jesus was talking about being born again. How can a man who is already old start life all over again? That's impossible. So here it is. He's a grown man. He didn't even understand what Jesus is talking about. Now, I wasn't giving you the Jesus side of it, but the thing is, we can all be born again. Jesus answers, you're right, but I'm not speaking about a physical birth. See, because you can change, you can have a new birth, but not there's no physical birth that's going to happen. I'm speaking about a spiritual birth. Unless a man's spiritual nature is born again through the Holy Spirit and is willing to be baptized, he cannot enter the kingdom of God. So basically, Jesus is talking about entering the kingdom. So I was just talking about changing your ways, changing your everyday habits, changing, how you're looking at life. But then you say, okay, if I'm changing how I looking at life, what's the next step? If I start changing how I look at life spiritually, and then start saying to myself, oh, wow, what else can I do? Then Jesus is saying that you must now be changed spiritually. He says that which is physical is one thing, and that which is spiritual is another. So don't be shocked when I tell you that you must be born from above to belong to God's kingdom. So look, see, I was talking in the human context this whole time, and then I shifted real quickly into the spiritual context. The reason why I did that is that a lot of times when we're looking for solutions in our life, most people have a hard time looking spiritually. Most people have a hard time understanding the Holy Spirit and have a hard time understanding God. Where God, if you would just close your eyes for a second, God is the source of you. God, at some point, see, God created an idea of you. God had an idea of Jay Moore. He's at some point in his time, he says, that's what's going to happen for Jay. I know Jay's going to have some challenges because he's going to do that to himself. But you know what? I can see past the challenges, and this is what's going to happen for Jay if Jay continues to see me. See, if Jay decides to edge me out, ego, if Jay decides to edge me out, then I don't know what's going to happen to Jay. But here's the thing, God, he knows I was his idea that he created. He says that I know the plans for you. I knew you before you were born. In Jeremiah, he talks about this. Before you were born, before anything was ever created, I knew you. I've numbered the hairs on your hair. I'm sitting here picking my hair this morning because I hadn't picked it all week. And I'm picking it, and he's numbered every hair follicle. He knows how many there is. I was picking it because I have been using the sponge all week, or some days I didn't have to use it because the sponge had already. I just kind of play with it, and I was picking it, and hair came out. Like I picked some because it started locking up, and a big piece pops out of it. He knows what number. He knows the numbers that came out. He knows what numbers came out of my head. See, that's the intimate detail that God knows. But here's what happens when people start thinking about the spiritual side. we get a little numb, like, is that really real? So that's why I talked about, something pretty basic to start this thing. Because what's basic is I made a decision. I'm talking about me. I made a decision that I would do something in my health that was challenging for me, which is go running. Despite the physical challenges that I might have, because I don't even talk about the physical challenge that I've been having because there's no point. But I made a decision to do that, which is great. But because I made that one decision, it's like other things are happening that's good from one decision. I was reading as I finished this book this week, The Power of Habit. It talks about how you can make one decision. You can create one habit that will just turn over in your life and cause so many other things to happen for you. And I'm looking at my life and I'm saying, man, that one decision, the one decision to go running, is now affecting every area of my life. It's affecting my family. It's affecting my spiritual life. It's affecting my business. It's affecting it's affecting everything that is my life. It's going to affect my church. It's going to affect my extended family, because I know it's going to affect my friends. It's going to affect, potential business partners. It's going to affect, everyone who comes in contact with me. Only one. I didn't have to make a bunch of decisions. I didn't have to make the decision to be the best accountant, or I didn't have to make the decision to be, the biggest business. One small decision is affecting everything. See, there's an old saying, everything works with everything. Everything you do is causing everything that's happening. So if there's something happening in your life that you don't want to happen, you got to look at everything you're doing. You can't point the finger and say it's, oh man, it's that person, or it's that company, or it's that thing that's causing. No, you're doing it. When my business didn't reach the goals that it had in 2018, it was because I didn't do something, or it was because I did something, things that I shouldn't have been doing. It was because I procrastinated. It was because, I didn't make the right decisions. I made decisions, but not the right ones. You see where this is going? This week, something powerful happened. I took a trial. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, not even a trial. I took a free offer from somebody. And at first I was like, oh, should I take this free offer? Should I take this free offer? Because I know what they want to sell me, right? A lot of times, like, man, I'm gonna take the free. They still want to sell me something, and so I said, I'm gonna take the free offer, and I'm gonna try the free. I took the free offer, and I took one thing inside this free offer. I said, let me see if it works. And I just did it. I used it, and I'm gonna tell you, I was like, I'm like almost baffled. I said to myself, man, that one little thing, one tweak, something simple, I did it. Man, there's like revenue, coming towards the book, coming towards my books from something that was free. And I was like, man, I'm saying, man, well, what if I take the trial that's 30 days for free? I said, man. So here it is. I'm faced with a decision. And the key is, here's the key about decision: make them quick. Make the decisions quick. And I decided, you know what? I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go to the next step. I'm gonna go to 30-day trial, use something else. Because you know what, at the end of the day, everything is a decision. Just make a decision, get it over with, so you're not going back and forth tomorrow saying, I should have did it yesterday. So God, this new birth, there's two births. There's two births that I want you to consider today. There's the spiritual birth that Jesus is talking about with Nicodemus in chapter 3 of John. Nicodemus didn't understand the spiritual birth. He didn't understand how a man could change spiritually. He didn't understand what Jesus was talking about when Jesus said, you must change and be born again. And then there's the other side, the not so spiritual, but it is spiritual. And it's, you know what? Make one decision. Make one decision that you'll commit to. That decision could be the one thing that will change everything for you, and it'll change everything of the people around you. I'm so serious about this because it will help you. One decision. Seriously, I'm telling you, I did not think last year, if you would have told me that, Jay, if you just run, that could be the one thing that causes everything to happen. What I'm seeing now after 60 days of doing it, that's the one thing that's causing everything to happen. One thing. It's causing me to move faster. It's causing me to see clearer. It's causing me to be the best that I know I can be. It's causing me to, I think, to love better, to love, to love my family, to be more empathetic. Like, I'm not, I still have rigid, meaning when I say rigid, I'm still like, all right, we gotta be intentional, but I'm finding some new communication methods, and I'm gonna tell you, it started with one decision, just one thing that I had to implement, not a whole bunch of things, but because of that one thing, it's changing everything. So guys, go read John chapter 3, from 1 all the way to 15. Read all of that. Find out about this spiritual new birth, and then look at your life. Make a decision to be born again spiritually. Also make a decision to be born again in your life. Change your life. Everybody's transformation is going to be based on one decision. That's it. You don't have to make multiple. You'll make all kinds of decisions, but make one decision that'll lead to everything, because everything is working for everything. So guys, that's today's enlightenment, the new birth. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Jay, and I am your healthy accountant, helping you to account for your life in all areas: mental, spiritual, physical, financial, and in your relationship. So guys, thank you so much. If you have not already liked and followed the page, please like our page, like the page on Facebook, or subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments. I'd definitely love to hear from you. And if you are in real estate, if you have a business and it's not real estate, I'd be willing to talk to you, because I'm willing to do that just, for a lot of people. If you are in real estate, definitely book a strategy call. There's some insights that you may not be looking at about yourself in your business that could help you to go to the next level. So if next level is what you want, you should book a call with me. And you can do that. You can send me an inbox here on Facebook, or leave a comment, and then we can set something up to speak and discuss what it is that you have going on, and if there's something I can help you with and offer you so that you can get to your next level. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me. God bless.